Have you ever felt like a couch potato? You know, that person who just can't seem to get off the sofa and be productive? Let me tell you a funny story about a student who took this idiom a little too literally. Imagine this: my student, Sarah, was invited to a party. But she thought the host was asking her to bring a literal couch potato, you know, a potato that looks like a couch. She showed up with a huge potato, and the other guests were so confused. So, what does a couch potato actually mean? It's an idiom that describes someone who is lazy, inactive, and spends a lot of time sitting on the couch, often watching TV or playing video games. Let me give you an example of how to use it correctly. After a long day at work, I just want to be a couch potato and relax in front of the TV. See how the idiom captures the idea of being lazy and sedentary? Here are some more examples of how you can use a couch potato in different contexts. In a casual conversation, "I've been such a couch potato lately, I need to get up and go for a walk." In a formal setting, the CEO's sedentary lifestyle and lack of physical activity has turned him into a couch potato. In a negative context, stop being a couch potato and get some exercise. It's good for your health. In a humorous context, "My dog is such a couch potato, he'd rather nap on the sofa than go for a walk." In a literary context, the protagonist, once an active adventurer, had become a couch potato, content to watch the world go by from the comfort of his living room. In a business setting, if we want to stay competitive, we can't afford to have couch potato employees who are unproductive and lack initiative. On social media, feeling like a total couch potato today? Anyone else? To help you remember the meaning of a couch potato, think of a person sitting on a couch, completely relaxed and inactive, like a potato. The idiom "a couch potato" was first coined in 1976 by Tom Iacino, reflecting the growing trend of sedentary lifestyles and increased television viewing in American culture. It's a great example of how language can capture cultural values and beliefs. In this case, the idiom highlights the importance of an active, productive lifestyle in Western societies. Now, let's explore some related idioms and phrases. Similar words: sloth, lazy bones, homebody. Opposite words: go-getter, workaholic, busy bee. Related idioms: binge watch, Netflix and chill, veg out. For example, I could say, instead of being a couch potato, I decided to be a go-getter and start a new exercise routine. I remember one time when a friend of mine used the idiom "a couch potato" perfectly in a conversation. She was talking about how she had been so lazy and unproductive lately. And she said, "I've just been such a couch potato this week, I need to get up and do something active." One common mistake people make is using a couch potato to describe someone who is physically large or overweight. This is not quite accurate, as the idiom is more about a person's sedentary lifestyle and lack of activity, rather than their physical appearance. Another mistake is using a couch potato in a positive context, like saying, "I'm such a couch potato, I love it." This goes against the negative connotation of the idiom, which implies laziness and unproductivity. To help you remember the correct usage, think of a couch potato as someone who is stuck in a rut, unwilling to get up and make the most of their day. All right, let's test your understanding of a couch potato with a quiz. What does the idiom "a couch potato" mean? A. Someone who is physically large or overweight. B. Someone who is lazy and spends a lot of time sitting on the couch. C. Someone who enjoys relaxing on the couch. The correct answer is B. In summary, a couch potato is a common idiom that describes someone who is inactive, sedentary, and lacks motivation. Understanding this idiom can help you communicate more effectively in English and avoid common misunderstandings. Now it's your turn. Try using the idiom "a couch potato" in a sentence. Leave your example in the comments below. I'd love to see how you're putting this new knowledge into practice.